Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm Jake, and today it's another Jake solo special. Just me today on the podcast, but we're going to have a great time. If you didn't already know, this is Chortle Cast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about TV shows, video games, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about, books, whatever we're in the mood for. We're all over the place all the time, okay? But we're gonna have a great show. You can be a part of the show by writing in at chortlecast@gmail.com. You can send us your questions, concerns, comments, topics, news stories you might want to hear us talk about, get our thoughts on, all that good stuff. You can also do all of that in our Discord channel. We have a channel set up for podcast story suggestions and questions. So, and you can find the description or the invite to that Discord in the description of this video or podcast or on our YouTube channel banner there. So, a lot of great stuff to talk about this week. A lot of stuff has happened last week, and especially since the last time we recorded a podcast, Steven had a technical issue, so his side didn't work out. So we've missed a lot, but we're going to talk about a few key topics, especially since it's just me today. We're going to talk about that Avengers trailer that dropped last Friday. We're going to get hyped for that, get all deep into theories. We're going to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. There was a trailer that was shown privately. We're going to talk about what people are saying about that. Then we're going to talk about Geralt coming to Monster Hunter World, and then Epic Games is dropping a new free cross-platform online service, and we're going to talk about all that. So, a lot of fun stuff. Before we start, though, I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping. The holidays are fast approaching, yes. If you're like me and you forget about Christmas presents until it's too late. Too late is fast approaching, okay? We've got like 10 days till Christmas. What is today? Today is the 13th right now as of this recording. It's the 14th for you watching live. So you've got like 10 days tops to get a present, okay? Maybe your family does a late Christmas. Maybe you're going to celebrate Christmas or your holiday on the 26th or 27th or something. You maybe have a little bit of time, but you don't got long, so get on that, okay? With that said, though, I want to talk about our holiday schedule here at Chortle Games because Chortle Games is a thing that we love to do, and we're excited about it, but we also have lives outside of Chortle Games and jobs outside of Chortle Games, so there's a lot of stuff going on. We all have wives or a fiance on the channel, so there's lots of family we have to get under control. So the last episode or video content you will see this year of Chortle Games will be on Christmas Day, December 25th. That will be our Christmas special. It's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. I hope you all watch it and enjoy it. Pull up your family, say, hey fam, let's watch some Chortle Games action, okay? But that'll be a Let's Play, edited, on going out on actually it's gonna be Christmas Eve, the 24th. I'm sorry, not the 25th, the 24th. So Christmas special, the 24th. That is gonna be the last thing you see of us this year. The next thing you will see of us will be on January 2nd. We'll be coming back with another Let's Play. It's going to be Jackbox then. And then, of course, we'll have the podcast that Friday. And then we will continue and carry on as we do. Now, some exciting things that are happening. Some things are changing next year. Very small changes, but basically this show, Chortle Cast, effective January 14th, again, sometime in January, the podcasts are going to flip. Instead of being on Friday, they're going to be on Monday. And you think, but Jake, there's a Let's Play on Monday. How am I supposed to watch a podcast and a Let's Play? It just doesn't work. We are actually going to be dropping the Let's Plays on Monday. So we will no longer have Let's Plays on Monday, starting in January. We will only have podcasts on Monday. So we'll still do Let's Plays on Wednesday, and I'm excited to say we're working on some non-gaming content to go into those Let's Play things. It will still be very heavily gaming Let's Plays, but we've got some stuff like some try not to laugh videos and some other fun ideas that we're cooking up. We're trying to branch out and do just a couple other things that would be simple and fun to do. So if you have any suggestions or things you'd like to see us do in those slots, let us know, because we may be open to it. No idea is too crazy. There's a lot. I have some crazy ideas written down, so no idea is too crazy. But anyway, that's going to be how the schedule's changing next year. We'll get more solid details on like when that switch is going to happen, but it'll most likely be that first week of January. So anyway, all that to say, to refresh, the big things you need to know is the holiday season starts here on Chortle Games from the 25th to January 2nd. So there will be a brief lull in between there. Now, I will say, I don't know what Steven has planned. I know that I am going to be very busy over those free days, but Steven may have a spare hour or two to do a stream or something. So be on the watch. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Hang out in the Discord. We'll try and let people know what's going on. But in general, don't expect to hear too much of us between December 25th and January 1st. Okay? So anyway, all that said, let's get started. We always start the show with this little thing we call catch up. That's where we talk about what we've been playing or watching this week. I have been doing a lot of Destiny this week. I am trying really hard to get my hunter caught up on level. If you've been playing Destiny 2, you know that with the Black Armory update, there was a power level raise for everyone. So now the max power level is 650 as opposed to 600, which it was before this update. So I was not even at 600 before this update happened. So Red Dead kind of halted my Destiny 2 progress. So I'm trying to catch up to Steven and get caught up with him. I think he's probably in the 600 teens at this point. I'm still not 600. I'm like 596. But basically, since I've beaten Red Dead, I've been playing Destiny 2 hard. So last week I did every possible power up, every possible weekly I did, except for the Nightfall, because I don't have a team of people who will go play that with me. And Steven hates that mode for whatever reason. I think we could do it, but he never wants to do that mode. Anyway, I digress. So I've been working really hard on that. This week is no exception. We had the Dawning event this week. I was expecting it to be kind of stupid, just because it's all based around making cookies, and then you give those cookies to different vendors and kind of whatever. But I've actually gotten a lot of enjoyment out of it. For two reasons. Number one, the big thing that you get from this is a new sparrow that basically looks like a sleigh, and I've got that now. And first off, I really just dig that sparrow, and I think I'm gonna use it into as we continue on. I really like it, but I was surprised at how not easy it was to obtain that, but how attainable that was. I did not have to work super hard to get that achievement. And what I really liked was this added a new powerful Ingram weekly, which was to deliver 12 of these cookies to different vendors across the map. I didn't test if you could give Zavala 12 cookies and that would just give you that powerful Ingram, because that would be really easy to do. I didn't test that, but I actually gave it to a bunch of different people, and I'm planning on trying. And this is the funny thing too. I am now legitimately gonna try and make every vendor their cookie that they need and deliver it to them, just as hey, look, I did all of this thing. So I don't know, the cookies are weird. You get certain materials from enemies as you kill them, and then there's certain, if you kill enemies certain ways, you get special rare ingredients, and then you add Dawning Essence, which you get from doing anything in the game right now. like when you complete a weekly, you get like 15 or something, like crazy numbers. So you have a bunch all the time, but then you use those to like actually make the cookies. But they're very fun. I have found a lot of humor in the event. My favorite thing, and I wish I had discovered this and like noticed it on a stream or something, but basically the gift for Raul, who is the Cryptarch who gives everyone edge transits, the grenade launcher that was broken for a long time in the game. Some would say maybe still is, but so he would always give people edge transits. So the gift to him was a cookie called Burnt Edge Transits. And it basically is when you mess up a recipe, that's what it gets. So basically we're giving him trash from what we were trying to cook. So I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was funny. I loved giving him that gift. Like, I don't know, I got invested in doing that. So anyway, it's a very simple event, but I like it a lot. It gives you an extra powerful Ingram for the week, so that's nice. And then other than that, I've just been grinding through all possible weeklies and doing all this and that. The weekly for the strikes this week is ridiculous. You have to do 3 strikes with someone who's in the same subclass as you. So it's not just having someone who's using solar, their solar super, and then, you know, if I'm using solar and you're using solar, we're good. No, we have to both be using the same exact super. And it was very frustrating. It took a couple tries not playing with someone. Like I didn't have a fire team formed or anything. It took several attempts to get that to happen, which was annoying. But anyway, all in all, I'm still loving the game. I'm still having a great time with it. I wish there were, it's funny. I find myself wishing there was more weeklies, which I know is something that a lot of people say in the game, and I know I can probably be found quoted saying, "There's too much. This is too much pressure to come back every week." But when you're in it, like when this is the only thing you really are invested in playing, it really is easy to get through the weeklies in 2 or 3, strong nights of playing. But what I did last week and what I intend to do the rest of this week is once I get all the weeklies, I'm just gonna play Gambit or play some strikes and hope that I can generate some Prime Ingrams, because those are honestly the best way, or they're one of the most consistently best ways to level up your character fast, because those usually come in 6 or 7 points higher than your power level. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been obsessed with it. I can't, I'm thinking about it at work. I can't walk away. It's too much. I haven't gotten to play much with Steven. Most of that has been because he's been busy, and then I've been playing like in my living room with Lee Allison sitting next to me, so I didn't want to like be in a chat and like be loud and disruptive to her either. So anyway, but I need to play with you, Steven, if you're listening. We gotta get a fire team together, and let's do a Nightfall so I can get that Ingram. Jeez. I also want to do a raid with FFG. We haven't had a chance to do that in a while. I'm just talking Destiny now. See, it's taken over my life. I'm wearing a Destiny hoodie, and like I'm back in, baby. I'm back in 100%. So anyway, let's move on to some news for this week. So arguably there was a lot of great news last week, and the Game Awards happened during our podcast filming last week. Steven and I watched both of those. There were a lot of exciting announcements, a lot of exciting game announcements. Joker coming to Smash was really exciting. The new Far Cry New Dawn, Steven is interested in. There were a lot of games. The Pathless, that's the one with the girl with the hawk and the archer, that had me like jumping out of my seat, like can't wait to see what this is about. It was really good. Overall, I felt like the announcements last year were bigger, but some would argue against that. So I don't know, maybe it was just stuff that I wasn't as interested in, but still all good stuff. And as much as I'd love to just walk through that whole thing, it's a lot there, and at this point it's older news, so go check some of those games out if you haven't though. There were a lot of really, really fun announcements made there. But Friday, after the Game Awards, the Avengers trailer dropped. It dropped that morning, and to be honest, we do not have a whole lot of information. It was a very good first trailer for that movie, because you don't want to give too much away, right? We don't want to know that how everything's going to get fixed, or that even that everything's going to get fixed. It was very, very dark and very depressing, but there are a couple things we can talk about in it. So I'm going to jump around here. I'm going to bounce around. If you haven't seen the theory video we did after Avengers 1, that you can go find that. It's called the Avengers in-game theory. So we nailed the title without even realizing it. So if you haven't seen that on the channel, you can go check that out. I'll try to link it in the description here. But anyway, that's kind of our theory for how 4 is going to work. I kind of, with this trailer, I kind of have some new information. I might want to alter that a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. So let's just dive in. So it starts off with Tony recording a message, very, very dark. Basically, you know, his last message to Pepper Potts. He is in the Guardian ship, and I believe he is in the Guardian ship with Nebula. If you remember, at the end of Infinity War 1, he and Nebula are the only 2 people left of the team that was on Titan. So Doctor Strange, by the way, spoilers for Avengers Infinity War. If you haven't already seen that, go freaking see that. He and Nebula are the only 2 that are left on that team from Titan. Basically, all the Guardians but Rocket are gone, and half of them were on Titan. Spider-Man's gone, Doctor Strange is gone, so it was just Iron Man and Nebula left. So it's safe to assume they somehow got the Guardian ship up and running and escaped into space. I don't know why they're out of food, and I don't know why they're running out of oxygen. Like, I don't know if the ship was damaged and so they like just barely got off the planet, or if they encountered some trouble in space and that's what's got them stranded. I don't know what's up there. I'm going to circle back to that. But then the rest of the trailer is very much just like, what do we do? Like, what is there to do after this? Thanos did what he said he was going to do. We see a short scene of Thanos living his farmer life. He's still got the gauntlet on. It looks like it's broken, and it's just like stuck on his hand, which I think is kind of a nice, like, I want to say like punishment. Like, he can't get the gauntlet off now. Like, it's just permanently stuck to his hand. That's a pretty cool, like, consequence to using that power. But anyway, he's living his farm life. He's, you know, whatever, doing his thing. And then it shows this scene with, they're basically talking about all the people they lost, yada, yada, yada. And it shows Bruce Banner, and on the screen are several different people. That screen pops up when he says, like, we lost so many people, so many good people. Scott Lang, who is Ant-Man, is the biggest photo you can see. And we see Bruce Banner looking at these photos. In the background, one of the photos is Shuri from the Black Panther movie, so Black Panther's younger sister. It is not clear if she is missing or if she is dead, but I'm leaning on dead. I hate that they didn't spend a moment on her being, you know, disappeared, but there was a lot of people they had to do. So I kind of get that. But anyway, that's kind of a note that not a lot of people, well, a lot of people have noticed now, but, you know, on first glance is not really easily noticed. We see Scarlett Johansson and Hawkeye, or now known as Ronan. We get the first look at Ronan. He's got this sword. It looks like he just killed a bunch of dudes. So there's a couple notes here. Ronan in the comics is usually an alias. It's an alias for a couple different heroes, but with Hawkeye specifically, whenever he takes that on, it's usually a very dark arc is about to happen for him. He usually takes a darker path as that. And it's usually when he can't be Hawkeye for some reason. So it's important to remember that in Captain America Civil War, the Sokovia Accords, which was basically like all superheroes have to be registered and controlled by the government, and there were 2 sides. The Avengers kind of split at like, we don't want to do this and we're okay with doing this. So Hawkeye went with the team that didn't want to sign, and as a way to get back to his family once he was arrested, he signed a deal to basically give up being Hawkeye. So he is Ronin mainly to as a way to not be Hawkeye and kind of as a loophole of his whole superhero thing. He needs a secret identity now, which is something that not many people, I think Spider-Man is currently the only person in the MCU that has a secret identity. Anyway, moving on. Talking still on Ronin. The other thing that's important to note here is it's very likely that all, or at least half, of Hawkeye's family is dead. So if you remember in Avengers 2, we saw that Hawkeye had this secret family. He had a wife and I think 2 or 3 kids. It's very possible and very likely that they're all dead, that they all got snapped away, which is so sad, and I hate that, but that is what has driven him to be Ronin and take a much darker turn on trying to do something. So it's unclear to me what he's trying to do. I feel like we're in an apocalypse type situation, so probably crime has increased. Obviously a lot of heroes are gone, so maybe that encourages crime from the few people that are left. I'm not sure what his goals are, but anyway, that's kind of what's probably driven him there. There's a couple things we see with Cap. Obviously, he and Scarlett Johansson come up with some sort of plan. They seem very desperate. But at the end of the trailer, we get this short clip of Scott Lang at the front door. And he's like, hello, you guys remember me? I'm Ant-Man. Like, hey, can you let me in? And you hear Captain America say, is this an old recording? And Scarlett Johansson says, that's the front door. And then that's the end of the trailer. They reveal the name in game. Really exciting stuff. So upon first glance, at least for me, in several glances, I took this at face value. Captain America says, is this an old recording? And she says it's the front door. I took that as, no, this isn't a recording. That's the front door live right now. To say Scott Lang is not dead, he was actually missing. So like, where did Scott come from? Well, obviously in Ant-Man, in the end, he gets trapped in the quantum realm. And so he has somehow escaped and come back. So upon first glance, that's where I was. I was just like, cool. He escaped the quantum realm. He went to the Avengers headquarters. He's trying to hook up with whoever's left, probably trying to figure out what happened, because he didn't have any idea what was going on with Thanos, because he was not a part of that movie at all. That's what I thought. Now, Steven, and I wish he was here to really dive into this, and we may end up doing another theory video about this specifically, but now Steven did a lot of research on this, and some savvy folks have zoomed in, and on the corner of that video when it first appears, some people have gotten it clear enough to see what it says on kind of the corners. And on one of the corners it says Archive 1988. And so when Captain America said, is this a recording? It really is a recording. Like, this is a recording that they're watching, and Scarlett Johansson is saying, like, that's the front door to this building. So what Steven and I have kind of discussed, and we think at the end of Ant-Man, basically Scott is going into the quantum realm to get some energy, some quantum energy or something. And Janet Van Dyne, the old Wasp, who they rescued from the quantum realm. She's been in the quantum realm for a long time. She has like some weird quantum powers now. She tells Scott, she's like, hey, all right, make sure you avoid this, make sure you avoid this, and if you see a time rift, just run away. And Scott goes, wait, what? And she pushes him in. So I forget the term in writing, but basically, when you tell somebody not to do something, it's almost guaranteed like that's what they're going to do. So we think that he fell into a time portal somewhere in the quantum realm. And we think it's very possible that he got plopped out of the quantum realm in 1988. And it's possible, obviously, that building that's now the Avengers headquarters, would have existed in 1988, but it would have been a Stark headquarters. Unclear if it would be being run by Tony Stark or if it would be being run by his dad, if his dad was still alive. I can't remember. You can probably figure it out between when Winter Soldier killed him. Anyway, so he goes there. It's unclear to me if he is intentionally going there and leaving this message in a security cam, or if he doesn't fully realize he's not in the right time yet. Regardless, we think he goes there and is leaving messages in the past. Now, this is interesting and this is exciting because if he is in the past and he's leaving messages, that explains some of the set photos we've seen where he's in the past with the original Avengers in the fight with in New York City. My original theory regards Captain Marvel a lot. I theorize still. My theory was that at the end of her movie, Doctor Strange was going to appear, basically say, "Hey, girl, we got to get you out of here because Thanos is coming and we can't have you here." So my theory was that he was going to put her in the quantum realm to protect her from Thanos and to protect her from the snap. And this may all still happen. And I was hoping that she and Scott would connect in the quantum realm somehow and go from there. Regardless, a new theory, kind of a tag along to that, is it's possible that now Ant-Man's going to be in the past. He's going to live through the Captain Marvel movie that we're about to see. Maybe not that he's in it. Maybe he'll be in like an end credit cutscene or something. And maybe he's the one who gets her and either takes her back to the quantum realm or, maybe just like she and he go away somewhere to hide. It's unclear. Anyway, there's a lot of interesting things that could be going on with Scott. And like I said, Steven wants to do a little bit more research into this and see where it goes. The only hole I really noticed in this is in that clip that's supposed to be in the past, he's in the van that they had. No, they didn't have that van, did they? I don't know. Anyway, if you see any holes in this, let us know in the comments. And I'm interested to see where that's going to go. Okay, now, for real, if you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, I'm about to go into super spoilers. And if you're a person who's like crazy nervous about spoilers in like a future movies, like we're going to dive into some potential stuff here. But I'm about to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, at a Brazil Comic-Con, they showed the first trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home. Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal both showed up for it. It was very exciting. But they showed the first trailer. Now, if you have seen Avengers, Spider-Man dies. A lot of people die, but Spider-Man is one of them. So I've been very curious how they were going to market this movie, because this is going to be the first MCU movie we have, after Infinity War Endgame, or Avengers Endgame. So how are you going to market that without like letting people know, like, oh yeah, Spider-Man's going to be fine? So spoilers, Spider-Man is going to be fine. But anyway, some people have posted like comments kind of describing what happens in the trailer. I'm reading this from IGN. The article is written by Victoria Aliga. Sure, I'm sorry if I butchered your name there. But anyway, they showed the first trailer. The most interesting thing about the trailer to me is, so for those of you that may not know, Jake Gyllenhaal is playing Mysterio, which is classically a villain in the Spider-Man universe. However, he is working with Spider-Man in this trailer. And it seems like he's working for Fury, Nick Fury. So again, spoilers, Nick is going to be okay too. We're not done with Nick yet. which I'm okay with because I like Nick Fury, and I think Samuel L. Jackson does a good job of playing him. But anyway, the trailer starts off with Peter Parker and Aunt May and Happy, who's from Iron Man 1. And Peter's going on a school trip to Europe. And so while packing, he leaves a Spider-Man suit at home, basically trying to take a break from all the craziness. Obviously, he had a real crazy time in Avengers Infinity War, so he needs a break. But anyway, the group is going to Venice, Italy for some trips. There is a budding romance between Peter and Michelle, who at the end of the movie was revealed to be MJ, which I called several months ago. I'll have everyone know. But anyway, there seems to be a romance budding there. But basically, then it shows Peter and Ned in their hotel room when a mysterious person suddenly appears and shoots a tranquilized dart at Ned. And it turns out to be Nick Fury. And he's calling Spider-Man for a mission. So Spider-Man's then presented with all sorts of new suits. They talked about a stealth suit like the Noir Spider-Man, which is very exciting. There's a classic uniform, and then with the spider webs under its arms. So it seems like Fury had a couple spider suits. I'm not sure if they were Iron Man made or like what the deal is going to be there. But then at the end of the trailer, Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio makes his entrance to help Spider-Man against a new enemy, Hydra Man. They talked about how it's a really cool sequence, and it looks like Spider-Man and Mysterio are working together in the movie. So they're going to be fighting the Elementals, which I'm trying to remember who's in there. Obviously, Hydro. I'm sorry, Hydron. I thought it was just Hydro. Anyway, Hydro, Hellfire, Zephyr, and Magnum. So a lot of different different people, but basically 4 villains, and then Mysterio that's working together with him. And like I said, it seems like Mysterio is working for Fury. So very interesting. I'm curious if they're going to set up a little bit of a longer arc. So maybe in the next Spider-Man movie, Mysterio will be a villain because of the events that took place in this movie. It's unclear. I really like Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor. I like Mysterio as a character. I am interested to see what it's like for a hero Mysterio to go evil. And I'm interested to see what that's going to be like for Tom Holland's Peter Parker. So anyway, a lot of interesting stuff. Still unclear how he's going to be returning. A lot of people are going to be returning. I mean, Nick. It seems like everyone will probably be making it back. At least most people, since Nick Fury and Spider-Man are both coming back. Who knows, man? The whole world could be different. We could have a different. Samuel L. Jackson may not be Nick Fury anymore. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? It'll all be different after Infinity War or Avengers Endgame. So anyway, let's jump into some games. Let's talk about video games because video games are great. Speaking just about video games being great, Monster Hunter World announced that they're not done. They've got more content coming. They are adding Geralt from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt into Monster Hunter World. I believe it's a free update, like it's just going to be happening. Geralt, who is being voiced by Doug Cockle, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. He is going to be a playable character through an in-game outfit. It looks like it's going to continue. It's going to weave RPG elements from The Witcher into the series. We're not really sure like what they mean by that. That's just what they said. Anywho, there's going to be certain monsters that you fight. We may see like a griffin or something from, The Witcher in the game. Anyway, I don't know. Very, very cool update. When they were bringing in, Mega Man and Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, and then they've done like Ryu from Street Fighter. It was very, very cool. And I was over here on the sidelines just like, where's Witcher? I mean, you're monster hunters. That's exactly what a Witcher is. So it's very cool to see that they have taken this even a step further than just like, here's a cool costume where you can be Geralt. Like, they have like missions for you as Geralt. So it's very cool. I hope that he becomes playable throughout. Like, it's not just, oh look, I'm Geralt now. Oh, I gotta go back to being whoever the heck I was before. So I don't know. We played Monster Hunter World this year when it came out last January, literally almost a year ago. We had a good time with it while we did. I did not get very far in it. I barely even played it, to be honest with you. I know Brody and Steven really enjoyed it, so I'm curious to see if this is going to be enough to pull them back in. They're also doing another update called the Iceburn or something like that. The Iceborne. So there's going to be some new frozen areas, some new ice-based monsters, that sort of thing. They're continuing to expand on this game, you know, a year later, continuing to keep it going. I don't know if I haven't heard much from Brody and Steven about if they're excited to jump back in, but if, you know, there were a lot of people that loved it early on this year, and then it just got busy once, you know, games, usually that January time is January, February is kind of a slow game time. It's not going to be this year, but anyway, I'm curious to see if they're going to get back into it. I don't know, even The Witcher, like, I may have to jump into it. What I'm afraid is I'm going to have to, because I never even beat, like, the main game. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to beat the main game just to get to the Witcher stuff, and I don't know that I have that kind of time to put into it. So not necessarily enough to pull me back in, but man, what an exciting update. Now I want Witcher in Smash. I'm campaigning for it. If you see this video, hashtag, go to Twitter and put hashtag Geralt in Smash or Witcher in Smash, okay? Make it happen. Spam it in the chat. Do what you gotta do. We're gonna make this happen, okay? We gotta let Nintendo know that we've realized the error of our ways and we should have been campaigning for Geralt this whole freaking time. And that's all I have to say about that. Epic Games has announced that they are giving free cross-play platform online services to, I believe it's anybody that's using their game engines. Unreal. I couldn't think of that. Anyway, first off, Fortnite last month, they announced, Epic. They announced the Epic Game Store, which was basically a competitor for Steam, where people can get their games for PC gaming, all their gaming needs for that. Huge deal, shaking up the market a bit. Now they're coming out and they're, as I understand this, as I read this, basically, if you have a game that, like Fortnite, that you want to do crossplay, they are giving you like all the tools they use for Fortnite to keep that going across PC, Mac, iOS, Android, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch all at once. They're giving you all those tools to take and use and do what you want. And they talk about how developers can choose, mix and match some of the solutions. They have a lot of free realm with it. The launch is going to begin with the Unreal Engine and Unity integrations, and we'll start with a core set of features that will grow over the course of 2019. So anyway, very exciting because Fortnite is the game that broke Sony to let them have crossplay with other platforms. So knowing that they were kind of the ones that really broke through that wall, they're now giving other developers the tools to do that with their games. So this is very exciting. This is, 2019 could be a year of big change in the industry. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of exciting games. 2017 was an awesome game for years, year for games. 2018 was a great year for games. 2019, I can't imagine that it's going to slow down, and there's already some games that, I'm really excited about coming out next year. But we may see a lot of mixing up in the industry where, suddenly cross-play is a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we know about the PS5 or the next Xbox, by the end of next year. So this could be, this is a big start. And Epic Games, it's crazy what they're doing. And I know we had you guys actually didn't get to hear it. Steven and I had a long, in-depth conversation about, is what they're doing here malicious or, shady, or are they really doing this for good? I mentioned they opened Epic Games Store. They're doing I forget the numbers now that I'm sitting here. It's like an 12% share with developers. So basically, developers who sell their games on Epic Games Store get 88% of the profits, and 12% goes to Epic. I took that as, oh wow, that's better than Steam. That's better than any other place. What a good move for Epic and developers. And Steven was like, they're just doing this for money. And he's right. They are getting money out of it for essentially doing not much. They have the store, they manage the store, they keep the store working, but essentially they're getting paid for not doing as much work. Anyway, we had a long discussion, and I hate that podcast just kind of cut. I don't want to speak Steven's side of the story for him any more than that. But anyway, so it's interesting now that here they are again. They're saying like, hey, look, we've worked this whole engine thing together. If you're already using Unreal, like here, just have it. Like this is just part of having the Unreal Engine and Unity stuff. So that's very exciting. Obviously, it may not be free, but like it's like if you're already using this engine, like you will have these abilities from now on. So Epic Games is moving up there. Fortnite has been huge, and I don't think it will explode as much as it did this year. But I wouldn't say they've peaked. I feel like they've plateaued. I heard someone else kind of say it's a part of our culture now. Like it's not just a game that did really well. It's like Minecraft level now. Like it's just, Minecraft is still so popular and kids still play so much Minecraft, but we don't hear about it. We don't talk about it as much. Fortnite, I feel like has reached that point where like it's just going to be a part of our society now. And we may not hear a lot of talk about it lately, but it's something kids are doing. This is happening. It's just like watching TV or something like that. Like kids are playing Fortnite. Like it's just a thing that's happening. So I don't see them losing any traction or any profit from Fortnite. It may continue to get better, but this is interesting to see how much they're doing in the industry right now, and how much that's going to change and affect the industry coming into the next year. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch and be wary of. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of Chortle Cast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple things you can do to help us out. Number one, if you're watching on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com. You can like this video, share it with your friends, leave a comment, let us know what you thought about the topics we talked about. And if you're an audio listener, we'd love it if you'd give us a review. But please, 4s or above only. If you got a 3, maybe leave it, but no 2s or 1s. Thank you. That's of course a joke. We'd love any reviews you got. And you can also email us at chortlecast@gmail.com. Like I said at the top of the show, we want you to be involved. If you've got a news story or a topic or a question you'd like to ask us, you'd like us to discuss, you can send us that email. We'll do it if we have the room in the schedule. You can also do that in the Discord, which you can find in the description of this video or podcast, and you can also find it at our home page banner. That'll take you straight in. We have a lot of fun in there, so be sure to join that. And also, if you're not already, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, both at Chortle Games. And of course, the best way to keep up with us and all the antics that we do is to subscribe here on chortlegames.com. Like I said, this is not the only thing we do here. We've got a lot of great content for you. I mentioned at the top of the show kind of our holiday season, how that's going to work, but we still got a little bit of time before that all jumps out. Not much, so get on your shopping, make sure it happens. I still got to get my brother a present. There's all sorts of stuff going on, but anyway, this Friday, tonight's stream is going to be a Steven solo special. He's going to be streaming Friday and Saturday. We do a live stream on Friday night and Saturday night. I am crazy busy with work this weekend, so it's just going to be Steven. From what he and I had originally kind of talked about and discussed, again, he's not here, so I can't finalize what he's doing. but he had talked about, since he missed Uncharted last week, which he usually does on Thursdays, he was going to try and double up this weekend and do some more Uncharted. So you may get 2 Uncharted extra bonus streams. You may get Uncharted and then something else. Who knows? We'll see. We'll find out. But anyway, that's what you can look forward to this Friday and Saturday. Then on Monday, that's mine and Lee Allison's anniversary, by the way, so feel free to tweet some love at us. Me and Brody are going to continue our journey in Octodad, so that'll be our Let's Play for Monday. On Tuesday, that's Team Up Tuesday. It's where we play a co-op game, do a live stream. I believe we were doing Division 2. It's probably going to be me, Steven, and Jeremy from 8-Bit Gamesters. If anything, I may not be there, but I think everyone else will probably be there. I'm going to try to be there. Just depends on how work goes. On Wednesday, we're going to have a Let's Play with me and Lee Allison playing this quaint little game called Think of the Children. It's going to be very funny and very entertaining for you guys to watch. On Thursday, Steven is going to continue his Uncharted Let's Play series, or live stream series, rather. Thursday, Steven does a live stream series where he plays through an entire game. Right now he's going through the Uncharted series. Steven loves those games, so if you like just watching somebody playing something they really enjoy, or if you haven't played those games and want to kind of see what it's about, that's a great time to tune in. And then, of course, next week we will have another podcast for you. We'll have another Where Is Zer stream for you, and I believe we're going to be live streaming the new Spider-Man DLC that night. So stay tuned for all that. Get excited. Like I said, just to sum it up again, holidays for Chortle Games are going to be from the 25th through the 1st. So you'll see us on the 24th. You'll see us on the 2nd. But that'll be it for you. And we got some new things happening next year, some schedule changes, but we'll be sure to let you know all about that. Again, thank you guys for watching. So excited to see you here. Hope you have enjoyed this Jake Solo special. I know I have. I like spouting off about Avengers theories and getting hyped with you guys. So thanks for watching. We will see you next time.